thank you. He's got something under his belt, because that was a hustly, competitive start. They were both pushing each other deep. It was windy on those opening sets.
And you saw that quick first wave that he fell on, so he wanted to wash that off with this. Great nose ride. You can see there's a little bit of white water in the face of that wave. That's not the largest wave, not the first wave of the set, but it had great scoring potential. He nailed it with those nose rides. And watch how powerful he is. He like pushed me back into the wave. He just forces that board back down into it, finishes a good one on his feet. He knows it's going to get a good score to start him off.
And it means so much for Kai. He's been here before. He's been in finals twice. He's finished second in the world. He won the ISA World Longboard event in January earlier this year, but his dream has always been to win this WSL World Longboard title, and he deserves it.
He absolutely does. And like I said, Steven is at the start of his competitive longboarding career, and Kai is at the pinnacle of his. It just would be amazing after this epic week of surf that we've had to have another Hawaiian win a world championship. Win at one of our events would be fantastic.
So look at the setup there. There's the 5, there's the 10. The fin locked really deep, the tail, the shape, the teardrop nose concave really helping with the design characteristics of this board and the skill of the rider. And he's very low in the wave, but then he comes back on the ascension through the nose ride. So it's very interesting to see the difference between ascending and descending nose rides, and Wingnut what's delivered for that score.
So that was a 7.60, which is great. I think it's a good, solid number, but again, size of the wave was just a little bit lacking. So they're leaving room in there to go up, up, and up, which I think is very important. And now Kai, without priority, by finishing that wave a little farther on the northern end of our peak, has found another one to back up that other score. There's that hand drag trying to stall that wave out so he can get another nose ride. 5 lock. He has not come off the nose. Those toes have been wrapped over, and that is uncharacteristic.
So we've got Stephen Sawyer here going for another right-hander with a good bit of precision footwork. And look at that backhand hang 10 in a really clean section. Wingnut, that was really high degree of difficulty in using that drop knee. Nearly comes unstuck. He does come unstuck. Just lost the rhythm as he powered off that drop knee. But the opening nose ride on the backhand was very dynamic.
So both of the surfers failing a full completion, but both getting critical nose rides. Great performances. I mean, you look at how Sawyer is hung so high. There's so much air underneath the nose of the board in that hollow wave he was on. I really like that nose ride.
And it was a really clean section. So if we compare it to the 7.60 delivered for Kai, yes, it was an incredible bit of nose riding, but it was a much more churned up, choppy section. But Stephen, deeper, shallower, and real great elevation, a lot of space around his toes.
And look at the set that's on the horizon here. Sawyer is a little south. He's going to go over that one shoulder there. Kai almost spun on that first wave. He's going to duck underneath this one, and that shows you how powerful Kai Salas is to be able to duck dive, because that's probably one of the few competitors that's not on a 9-0.
So there's that 5, there's that 10. Stays locked in this 5 all the way through this section. Look at the commitment to the nose riding, waiting for that section to steepen up. Nice and low in the wave, but coming up high there, and then just loses it on the pedal back. And here we see this backhand nose ride from Stephen. Look at the space around his toes there. So much elevation as that board lifted out. Here, just lost his rhythm off the rebound. Needed to not push it so hard back up the face.
No, I really like this turn. I like how he comes out of it, and the way it sets up his walking. So he comes up, he's good, clean up to the top, and he goes to add on to it here, and that's where he slipped off. I mean, I think he was in control up at the top, and then he was trying to use the nose to turn himself back down into it.
But like you said, the way he powers and sets himself back up, there's no hesitation. You see a lot of great longboarders who hesitate in those last 2 steps or those first 2 steps. The flow between maneuvers, between rail, nose, and tail of Stephen there, really dynamic.
And so I like this. Not having priority, Kai is staying really busy. He has been in the water so many hours out here. It was yesterday, I was worried. He had the last of the day, and during that long break that we had, he was in the water for 2.5 hours.
And then in the evening, he was having another free
right.
session.
I mean, he's in the best surfing shape, I think, of anyone here.
So Kai Salas going for his first WSL World Longboard title. Runs the Pro Surf School in Queens, Waikiki in Hawaii. One of the legends of longboarding, riding the Donald Takayama. Goes shaped by Tommy Moss in the pink. Des Sawyer board under the feet of his son Stephen Sawyer. Stephen there, the youngster in this final, just 24 years of age, the goofy footer from Jeffreys Bay, also a musician, so he's going to be performing for the crowd tonight, and he is a crowd pleaser. Different approaches here. Kai, the strategist, being much more focused on the conditions, the board, the performances in the heat. Stephen just buzzing on the whole energy of the event.
That's true. I mean, he gets so much power from all the people around him. It's like he's a vampire. He's just taking their energy, and it just adds to his power.
And an unprecedented number of South Africans represented here at the event with Sam Christensen, Crystal Hewlett, Alfonso Peters, but of course, as ever, Hawaii strong, the DeSoto brothers here, Ned Snow here, Scotty Fong Jr. here, Crystal Walsh here, Honolulu Bloomfield and her father Kohei.
Kira Seal, I mean, it goes on and on and on. The Hawaiians outnumber everyone, that's for sure. It is just...
Big shout out to Bonga Perkins if you're tuning in. I know you'd love to see Kai win this. We were talking about Bonga last night, Wingnut, and what an ambassador for the Aloha spirit, our 2 times world longboard champ, Bonga Perkins.
Always has been. I just always loved the way he carried himself in and out of the water. The ultimate respectful gentleman. And again, a big, tall, powerful surfer. When I lived in Waikiki, when I moved there, Bonga was 10, 12 years old surfing at Queens. He was riding a Sippy single fin, a 9.6 single fin, and he would have these smooth off the lips where I'd be able to see like the top of the fin box who was getting that vertical. And we see everybody down at the Ninth Swell Sparkling Water booth enjoying their free sparkling water courtesy of Ninth Swell.
Hydrated and enjoying the final here with 23 minutes and 55 seconds as Kai Salas has a 7.6 and looking to wash off that 1.43. Stephen Sawyer just with that 0.8 but that 5.27. Kai currently in the gold medal position here, looking to win that first world longboard title, but with 23 minutes remaining. All can change here, Wingnut. You can see them sitting quite near each other, but out of priority. Kai Salas, is that an advantage to be out of priority and have that room to roam?
I think it has been through various parts of this event, but I don't think it's as much of an issue in this heat. I think Kai knows the spot so well. He knows where he wants to be. He's sitting by Sawyer because that's where he wants to be sitting. That's his lineup.
So we're talking about great Hawaiian surfers. Of course, we had the DeSoto brothers here, Bonga, another big South African surfer who has certainly inspired Stephen Sawyer. Matthew Muir, threatened for world titles many a years. Matthew, if you're listening in, I know you'll be enjoying this final. Jason Ribbing, another big successful South African in longboarding who had a lot of good battles with Californian Colin McPhillips at various world titles. 1 year crowned at Stephen's local spot, 3 days in South Africa, but Taiwan has been delivering. And there it is, there's the trophy. Yesterday, Soleil Erica get her hands on that 2018 World Longboard title. Will it be Salas? Will it be Sawyer? But big thanks from that to Jinsun Harbour, because what great conditions yesterday and today to crown a World Longboard champion.
It's just been gorgeous, and enough surf. You know, the athletes have been talking about how it's changed so much since when we first got here. You know, way overhead, windy, powerful. I think we had 26 surfboards broken during the course of this week, as we see Stephen Sawyer set that up with that nice left go right, nice footwork there, clean footwork all the way back, and look how he winds up that turn.
Love the drop knee out of that as well. Smooth open section here, powerful attacking tail action, but mixing it up with some really strong footwork and nose rides, pulls up for a tight 5. Look at the footwork in the second stall here. This is incredible surfing from the goofy footer. Wow, Wingnut, what do you think of that? Excellent range.
It's that tail end of the wave there that isn't always that high scoring. I mean, there's a lot of action going on, but it tends to be on a softer part of the wave. There's not a steep face there for the nose ride. I don't know if I can say that's going to go into the excellent range.
So he sets himself up here. It's powerful, it's quick, good footwork. There's the 5. Not able to get the 10, but hangs on, and precision with the footwork through all of this face here. Look at this section clean up, and the power whips that off. The second big tail turn we've seen, and keeps the flow going back up for the nose, and really moving fast and throwing everything into this. I like that stall and that last touch of the nose, putting it all through to that inside section. But like you say, a lot more happening in the back half of the wave as we see live action. Salas on the nose, nice and low, holding onto that nose ride, rising back up to the lip, accelerating, soul arching. Wow, that was great nose riding from Salas there with the drop knee turn as well. Looking again to get deep behind this section, perhaps one more nose ride on the inside, Wingnut.
gets that nose ride, stays on the 5. That, to me, is a more functional nose ride than that tap to the nose that Sawyer did at the end there. That was still functional surfing all the way through the end of that. So I think it was a bigger wave. I think it was a more critical nose ride. He held the nose ride longer, was able to get 10. After this 5, he'll get through this section. That board will climb up. Okay, not a pure 10 for sure, but a great nose ride. One powerful cutback to Sawyer's 2. There's his second. Now we have the 2 cutbacks that kind of make them even. And then in here, where Sawyer's was kind of coming straight at the camera, there he is, trimming on the nose down the line. Covering ground. That's another scoreable nose ride for me. So I think Kai wins that exchange.
So we saw more happening on Sawyer's wave, but the precision and the length of the holding those positions, those maneuvers from Kai was stronger. So we'd expect it to come out slightly higher in the scores here. Waiting for 3 rides to drop, but this exchange on that last 2 rides is going to be very interesting, because obviously both surfers want to drop their low 0.8s for Sawyer and that 1.43 for Kai. Carrying a 5.27 is Sawyer, but carrying a 7.6 is Kai Salas. What do you think of this slow motion footwork there, Wingnut?
Look how nice and clean his footwork was. It buries the nose for just a second. Has to get off of it rather quickly. So that was not his most critical nose ride that we've seen. But these 2 turns, this one, climbing up the face of the wave, full S turn with a drop knee coming back, nice control. Almost goes into a cross step again, and he realizes he's got another big power gouge right there. So those 2 turns, very dramatic.
Wow factor was high. The footwork, I love the way he comes off the nose rides and puts his feet exactly where they need to be. We see a lot of competitive longboarders do the first 2 steps off the nose and then shuffle to adjust that back foot over the fins, but Sawyer very clean and precise with that footwork. But Salas holding on that long 5, using those 2 drop knee turns and getting a lot of ground covered as he nose rode through the inside, but didn't so much have a critical steep section to work with for those nose rides. So will be interesting to see which score comes out higher from these 2 rides.
And here's Kai Salas without priority. He had created a lot of separation from Sawyer, so when this wave comes in, he doesn't have to worry about Sawyer holding him off with the priority. I like the way that board climbs and rises through that wide water. That's a great example of what a concave nose can help your board to do. That as you get on it and activate the concave, as the water starts to go up into that concave, it lifts that board up to the nose.
Very interesting. So many design elements important in the nose riding, with the tail shape, the way the fin will lock and hold and suck, and the way that concave will help cushion and lift. And also, of course, what's the role that rails play in the nose ride?
Well, there's acceleration rails that are down. There's soft rails that want to hold onto the water. There's so many different things, different elements that happen there. And I was wondering what happened on Sawyer's wave. We could hear the cheers, and we just saw it finished. And it didn't finish as clean as I think Sawyer wanted it to. So let's see. So here's Kai Salas again. Sets it up with that little stall check turn. Gets to the nose, gets 5, and see how he's dropping down and then climbing up. You see that lift, that elevator lift action from the concave. Big, beautiful drop knee turn. Gets another nice turn out of it there. Feels confident, kicks out. That's going to be a really good nose ride. And now we see what happened with Sawyer.
So Sawyer gets that nice 10 there, really committed here. Beautiful footwork, pedaling back, big re-entry there. And this is probably where he comes unstuck. Yes, he comes unstuck then, but kicked off with a really good committed high degree of difficulty on his nose ride. He's up and riding now, live action, back up on the 5. Really good open section ahead, staying loyal to the 5. Will it be another 10? There it is, there's that 10. Pedals back, at the cleanness of the footwork, gets nice and low. Probably going to use the drop knee again once more. He doesn't need to here. Is he going to get that section through the inside? The toe nearly coming right off the tip there. He feels good about that. He's just dropped a 7.93, waiting for another score. Kai Salas has 4 waves to come in, 2 waves now to come in for Sawyer. So very different approaches, but committed, going for it. Both surfers extremely hungry for this 2018 World Longboard title.
It had gotten just a little bit quiet there, and then bang, action on. 2 sets in a row right on top of each other, just relentless. And Sawyer getting that kind of the wave that I didn't think was going to come in so high. We're still waiting for that one, but that 793, what a strong wave.
So let's see this setup here. There's the 5, gets the quite tight 5 there, but stays on this 5, and then as the section steepens, he's able to get the lock and the hold to go back into the 10. And look at the footwork, that's 6 steps back there, and knowing exactly where to place the back foot, and finds another nose ride section up here. There it is, having that foot right over the very tip. We see that a lot with Honolulu Bloomfield, who literally has that foot hanging off, but Kai Salas answering back on the replay with a 5 there, hanging in there, kicks out of that one there. He doesn't know that, doesn't think that will go into his top 2, so he's happy just to do the standing island kick out there. And 793 is Sawyer's biggest wave so far, but 2 scores waiting for drop. 7-6, Salas's highest score. 4 scores waiting to drop. Live action.
And there goes Kai into another one. This one looks like it's got a great clean face, but it's probably closing out down the line, so he's out. So giving away priority right there.
So that feeling that Kai has when he locks in those 5s and 10s and everything rises back up high, that elevation, that's such an incredible sensation. These nose riders here putting it all on the line, but it's not just the nose rides, it's the setups, it's the linking maneuvers before, between, after, it's staying in the pocket, it's using all of the board, all of the wave. Yes, that wind's on it a little bit, but those shallower rides sucking up, still allowing those steep pockets.
It's just great, and that wind at least is in your favor at this point. You know, everyone riding the right, so you're getting a little bit of that wind lift helping your nose rides. You'll see Kai again.
Little recap from the wave so far. Salas living on the nose there, nice soul arch, moves, stretch back here, but comes back up for a steeper section here, staying on the 5 and back up for a second 10. Great commitment to the tip there from Kai Salas, and then look at the space underneath his toes here as he moves back onto the tail with a powerful attacking turn, and then setting himself up for another turn here. Power from the tail from the goofy footer from South Africa, dropping a 7-5 is Kai Salas. 3 waves back, there's still 3 waves to drop for Kai, but wow, a 7-6 and a 7-5.
So that's great, we're right back together. This thing is a dead heat. We're still waiting on 2 scores for Stephen Sawyer, as well as we see Kai Salas going again. There's a nice cross step to the 5, there's a 10, the hands are up. He's putting a little bit of flair in here, knowing he needs every little bit of mojo to defeat Stephen Sawyer, and those 2 turns are just fantastic. Add a 3rd one in, powerful, smooth, but we can hear everyone yelling, so that means Sawyer was answering back immediately. And are we going to get a little paddle here? The fans of the South African waving the flag. A bunch of the juniors are here for the next competition, and they are all rooting on this man, Stephen Sawyer.
So there's the setup, and there's that 10, backhand 10, high degree of difficulty moving through that foamy section, committed to the nose there. A lot of chop in the face there, but so snappy and quick on the cutback. Really tight, fast footwork, kicking out, trying to get advantage on the paddle battle. But look at the poise, the precision in this. Everything's slower, but for me, it was a little bit more precise and clean and open, and I love the flow, the link up, and look at the zap of this second cutback. Bang! He really whipped that round there. Everything looking alive, and this is when he hears the crowd hooting at Stephen Sawyer behind him. So Salas with that 7-6 and the 7-5, and still scores waiting to drop. Sawyer looking to drop a 5-2-7. He's got a 7-9-3, which is thus far the highest ride of the final, but there's a lot of waves now being studied by a panel of 5 judges to deliver that score out of 10. We eliminate the lowest and the highest. You get an average out of those 3, but they might not have time to deliver it yet because there's live action.
We are definitely, I don't think we're going to be able to call a winner of this heat at the end of this heat. If the judges, I totally respect the judges taking the time that they are taking on these scores. It's not like either of them are holding anything back. It's not like, oh, I only need a 7.2, that's all I'm going to do. You're going for a 10 on every single ride, so the score matters to us as we're watching it, but it's going to be, until the last wave is ridden, it's going to be neck and neck.
So nothing gone into the excellent range yet. Both surfers getting 7s. 2 scores waiting to drop for Sawyer. 4 scores waiting to drop for Salas. So priority is with Sawyer. Salas in the blue singlet on the right of your screen there. They're both in each other's hair, in each other's face. The energy, the pressure, both fighting for their first world title. 2 years ago, we saw Sawyer lose to Phil Rasman in the final. He wasn't ready to be a winner then, but he is now. This guy's hungry for it. He wants it. He's got priority. He's going to catch this right-hander. He has a little look both ways there. Sets himself up with the fade turn there into the 5. A little bit underneath the foam on this section. Will he be able to stay on the nose through it? He comes into the helicopter. He'll fall off there. Didn't really stand up cleanly for him that way.
You mentioned that loss to Phil Rasman. I can remember specifically interviewing him afterwards, and I asked him about, he went for this big foot cutback because Phil was doing them, and he said, well, yeah, I saw him doing those, and I thought, oh, I can do that. And he goes, guess what? I can't do that. He had such a good laugh about it. But the judges took their time, and they just brought in the first score in the excellent range for this man, for Steven Sawyer, and 8.17 leapfrogs into the lead with a 16.10 to Kai Salas's 15.10, and we're still waiting for scores. 2 for Kai and 1 for Steven. So we wanted it to be close. We expected it to be close. And it is under 10 minutes now, under 10 minutes leaving as you watch Sawyer do battle with the Whitewater, and the Whitewater wins.
So we're coming into that last 10 minutes now. We're still waiting for 3 scores to drop. Currently, the situation is that Steven Sawyer is in first, and Kai Salas will need something in the excellent range because Steven got a 7.93 and an 8.17. Kai's carrying a 7.6 and a 7.5, but 2 scores to drop. Has one of them gone into the excellent range? If it's an 8.5 or higher, he moves into first position. It comes in at a 6.57. That's not enough, but there's still 1 more score to drop for Kai and 1 more for Steven. We can hear the beach hooting and cheering. There's a lot of support here. There's 9 minutes remaining. The sun is beating down, and the title is so close here.
The vocal South African contingent, they know that Sawyer, grows more powerful with that encouragement. But the quiet Hawaiian, holding himself back, he has priority out there. He knows what he can do. He just needs to be selective now.
He's got a repertoire that can get a perfect 10. He knows those 5-10 combinations, that amazing flowing drop knee turn. He knows his repertoire. Steven Sawyer just seemed to bubble up with this flamboyance, this energy from the crowd, but Kai knows if he gets the wave, he can deliver the goods. Scores now starting to tabulate. A score that won't even count in the top 2 is a 7.43 from Steven Sawyer. That's his 3rd highest scoring ride. So that says a lot that that's not going into his top 2, but we're still awaiting that last score to drop for Kai Salas. Is it the 8.5 that he needs to move into first position? Under 8 minutes remaining. Wow,
it is getting tight. And even if it's not that 8.5, will it get rid of the 7.5 and make him that much closer, make it an easier number? We felt it was ironic in the last heat that it was going to take an 808. It was going to take the Hawaiian area code for Kai to get knocked out of that heat, and Cole was unable to dial up Oahu, and Kai Salas took that heat away from him. And it is nerve-wracking right here. Waiting for one last score to come in. I know the judges are taking a look at that.
So that was a big flurry of waves in the last kind of 8 minutes.
And now it's quiet again. Remember, there were so many waves. The judges were backlogged with 6-7 scores, and now there's another one of those calm periods, which means we're going to get a flurry of waves at the end of this heat. It just cannot stay that quiet for the next 7 minutes. So.
And obviously the judges really studying this last wave of Kai to really pick it apart and look at that criteria, look at the degree of difficulty, the risk, the pocket surfing, the commitment, the control, style, the flow, use of all of the board, all of the wave. Needing that 8.50 Hawaiian Kai Salas. He comes in at a 7.07. It's not enough to put him into first position, and it doesn't go into his top 2, so he still needs an 8.5. In priority is Kai Salas, sitting to the north, to the left of your screen in the blue singlet with 6 minutes 20 seconds remaining. It's Steven Sawyer, the 24-year-old goofy footer from South Africa, who is going to take this wave. Is this a good decision out of priority, or is he just keeping busy?
I think he was just giving it a hard look. He's trying to make Kai second guess what's going on. Look how calm Kai looks. He's moved back to that North Peak, and remember how he started his heat against Cole Robbins by being good right setting up during the expression session. But is anything going to come in time? Is Sawyer just going to be able to hang back and let this happen?
That looked like one of those sets that just went down towards the
All the way to the
harbour.
harbour.
Sometimes that happens. You see them peaking up there, but really the scorers have always been those sets that peak up more to that north with that almost wedge section. It's those wedge sections that these two surfers have been delivering those high scores on in those nose rides. But there's a little wave here. We got 47 seconds. Hawaiian Kai Salas needing an 8.5. Steven Sawyer currently in the lead. Is he going to be our 2018 World Longboard Champion, or will Kai Salas get an opportunity? We saw Kai on a set before, but it didn't deliver the scoring potential. But Sawyer is up and riding here. He gets his toes on the nose straight up there. Is there something behind for Kai Salas? Sawyer staying loyal to the tip time there. Gets the 5. Is he going to get back up nice and low there? Strong commitment again to the nose ride. Pedals out of this section. He's looking behind him. He wants to see what Salas is on behind. He's just cruising through the inside here. He knows that won't go into his 817 and the 793 as we see Salas there coming sweeping through this inside section. But what happened on the
what
outback?
happened on the outside, we're not sure. We saw Stevie looking back, so you know he was a little bit nervous about what was going on as Kai Salas is finishing that wave on the nose. Great round of applause. Fantastic performance by both surfers. I have absolutely no idea what the score is going to come in at.
So he needs an 8.50, Kai Salas. We did see the takeoff. We saw the end. It looked like the wave was kind of, it was getting smaller in size. Perhaps it might be one of those peakier waves. Body language. What are you seeing in the body language there, Wingnut?
I think Kai knows it's going to be good, but he doesn't feel, he's not wearing that, oh, that was a 9, that was a 10. He did not have that look of confidence. So this is another one. We've had many heats throughout this event where getting into the beach, you just can't make the call. He needed an 8.5. That is a giant number.
So it's all coming down
we'll
to
get a replay of that
here.
in a minute. We'll get to see Kai's wave all the way from the outside as you see Sawyer being greeted by friends in the longboard community and the young South Africans that are here for the junior.
So here it is, Kai Salas's wave. He sets up, there's the 5, not able to get the 10, but there's the 10. Nice ascension on the nose there, big sweeping turn. It's about this point where we picked up on the camera after Steezy's ride in that second sweeping turn. Wingnut, is that the score up into the 8.6 that he needs to win this?
I just don't think it's there. It was not a large enough wave to really put it into the excellent range, and although that was a really nice 5, then it climbed through that to the 10. I mean, this is going to be a really good score for Steven as well, even though he relaxed on it. I mean, that could be in the high 7s. I don't know if that wave was in the excellent range. I don't know if that is going to do it for Kai Salas.
So they're ready, they're waiting. The South African contingency and all of his fan base are sitting near, waiting for the judges to deliver that last score. Salas needing an 8.50. Was it enough? Was it a big enough wave to really deliver that wow factor, that commitment, that degree of difficulty?
All the athletes down there on the beach waiting for those numbers to come. Nobody, it's not clear. There's no easy way to say how this is going to happen, but just all week long, fantastic performances from both of these surfers, working their way through. Way less pressure on Steven Sawyer. He's come in loose, light, and happy throughout the entire thing, and that focus and determination on Kai Salas.
Yeah, and if Kai Salas doesn't get the score that he needs, then commiserations to Kai Salas, because you've been such an incredible performer here. But Wingnut, what are you hearing?
It did not do it. Congratulations, Steven Sawyer. Fantastic job. Congratulations on winning your first longboard world championship. The South African.
Wow.
He's in such an amazing place in his life, releasing an album very soon. What a great time of life for Steven Sawyer. Kai Salas, fantastic performance throughout this event.
So there is our 24-year-old movie footer from Jeffreys Bay, our troubadour of longboarding. Steven Steezy Sawyer is your 2018 Men's World Longboard Champion, riding his Des Sawyer board out of Jeffreys Bay, one of the great hotspots of global surf culture. The South African surfing for the Springbok. There it is, our 2018 World Longboard Champion, and well done, Stephen Wingnut. Wow, what a final. Commiserations to Kai, so close. Yet again, one of the greatest longboarders ever. Everything about Kai is positive. The aloha spirit, the flair.
Being congratulated by Phil Rashman right there, who won the world title over Stephen Sawyer 2 years ago. Amazing. Amazing.
So, once again, Wingnut, we crown a WSL World Longboard Champion. Little reflection on what we've seen this week. Soleil Erico wins for the women, and this man, 24 years old, a goofy footer on the right hand as Stephen Sawyer from Jeffreys Bay.
And we'll be right back with the awards presentation right after this.
Hello, Take Two. We all know that you're stoked for the World Surf League Longboard Championship in Taiwan.
I wish I could be there to join riding those tasty, amazing waves.
I've heard the best things about Taiwan. Beautiful island, the most amazing coastline.
Don't forget about the green water and the blue skies.
You are part of something deeper. Welcome home.
This is badass!
We hope that our new movie, Aquaman, will inspire you.
Now get out there and become the next champion of the sea.
And be sure to catch Aquaman on the big screen this December.
The war is coming to the surface.
Arthur! not a king.
Atlantis has always had a king. Now it needs something more. A hero.
To the presentation here at the... There we go, we had to turn them on. Is that on, working? Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the presentation of the 2018 Men's World Longboard Championships here at the Taiwan Open of Surfing. It's been a phenomenal display of longboarding. We saw Soleil Erico being crowned Women's World Longboard Champion yesterday. Today we had some sizzling performances from the likes of Cole Robbins and Taylor Jensen, both finishing in equal third place. But a massive thank you to all of you fans coming down to watch the action, and to Jinzun Harbour in Taiwan, Taitung. You've delivered once again, and you've got shortboarders coming up in the World Juniors very soon. It's been a historic day for longboarding. To separate the men and the women and give them their equal showcase in such good conditions is really special. And of course, we wouldn't be here without all of our sponsors and supporters. So a big thanks to Taitung County Government, to of course the Taiwan beer that I know you're all going to be enjoying this afternoon, to Finn, PX Mart, Roxy and Quicksilver, Taipei 101 and the Gaia Hotel, where many of the competitors and staff have been staying down in Taitung City. And joining me on stage for the delivery of the trophies coming up, have we got the governor present? Is she here? There she is. She's coming up. The Deputy Governor, the Taitung government. Here he is. Massive thank you for the support from Taitung for this World Longboard title and the Taiwan Open of Surfing. And of course, the legendary Will Hayden Smith is here with me as well, our Longboard Commissioner and our Australia Regional Tour Manager. Will, massive day to happen. A few words from you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for everyone for coming and watching. The atmosphere during that final was electric. We saw some great surfing. We've got a brand new world champion today. We crowned a brand new world champion yesterday. It's a super exciting time for longboarding. That final was incredible, and the fans on the beach made the atmosphere electric. So thank you to Taitung for being such great hosts to us. Thank you for having us here, and hopefully we're coming back for many years to come.
And I must say a massive thank you for all the brilliant performances we saw from the longboarders today. And in third position, Cole Robbins and Taylor Jensen. It's never easy getting those thirds, but it's that type of surfing that pushes competitive longboarding to the next level. And the runner-up here at the 2018 World Longboard Championships is Kai Salas, who obviously has the heartache of finishing in second position. But I want to hear a massive round of applause for Kai Salas, the legendary Hawaiian. Radiating that aloha spirit as always. But this year, winning the Taiwan Open of Surfing and the Men's World Longboard Champion, the Troubadour, Stephen Steezy Sawyer from Jeffreys Bay, South Africa. Ew! Steezy, a massive result there. I haven't even had a chance to give you a hug, but you got a big performance coming up with the guitar and the voice. But wow, you just delivered yourself your first World Longboard title.
Man, this doesn't feel real just yet. It still feels like that wasn't the final. Like there's still more heats to come, you know. But I'm just so overwhelmed with the support and joy. There's like 10, 15, 20 South Africans here, and I'm totally feeding off the vibe. Got good friends around, the best vibes. This place, I love Taiwan, the most amazing waves, great people, great food, and this is just such a blessing to be part of it.
Now, Steezy, we know you finished second a couple of years ago to Phil Rasman in the World Longboard Championships. Were you ready to be a world champion back then?
That was my second year giving the World Tour a shot, so I definitely don't think I was ready, but you know, contests can take you by surprise. You just got to be prepared, and when the opportunity arises, I guess that's what good luck is, you know. It's just good preparation and the good opportunity.
And when did you first have the dream to be a World Longboard champion?
I would say when I was about 16, 17. I was watching videos of Harley, Taylor and Phil and a bunch of guys like Jared Mull and the Logger crew as well, and I just love every approach to surfing. And I was doing shortboarding, and then I decided to have a little more fun on the longboards and surf different surfboards, and the longboarding has just been so amazing. that it's just overtaken everything else.
Well, without further ado, the silverweight is going to come onto the stage as Taylor Jensen is going to deliver the 2018 WSL World Longboard Championship. Well, that was one of the best beer showers we've ever seen. Steezy, I'm going to wait until that beer shower ends, and then I'm going to get you to deliver some final words of support for your fans back home. There's more beer coming. Thank you, Taiwan Beer. Thank you, Taiwan. So last word, Stephen Steezy Sawyer, the troubadour, the legend, the champion here. I mean, what do you want to say to all your fans and family back home and everything that Taiwan has delivered here for this special week of your life?
Wow, you know, everything's possible, and if you believe that, you got it. And for me, I believe that God set out my path, and I've just got to be prepared and lay down everything that I've got. And if I'm in line, everything will happen for me. And jeez, this is ridiculous. I don't even know what I'm saying. I haven't thought about any of this yet. Give me a minute.
Well, let's hear one last massive cheer for our 2018 WSL World Longboard Champion, Stephen Sawyer!
写什么？你看什么？你买赶快啊！混啊！你写3天，我改8、7次，是不是不想看啊？
有一种爽，交给老板1巴掌。爽皮 So Beer。